Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Warframe Wednesday video. If you've been keeping up with this series of videos, last week we took a break from the Warframe 101 and talked about the 2020 that was Warframe, but today we are back with probably one of the most important videos in this series as we discuss mods. Now you might be asking yourself, what exactly does a mod mean in Warframe? And it's actually fairly simple. In this screen that you see in front of you here, this is where they house all of their mods for Warframe. Mods, as is pretty well self-explanatory if you're familiar with most RPG style games or games that use mods of any kind, do different things for different weapons, different frames, different melee weapons, secondary weapons. Pretty much anything that exists in the game has a series of mods that goes with it. Each mod does a different thing. For example, just to take a look at this one, here's the Lasting Sting mod, has a 10% status duration. That's a melee mod. This is a pistol mod that gives you a +5 status duration. Now, they work fairly simplistically. Let me show you how they pop up here on the screen whenever you're actually trying to upgrade. Each mod will be plugged in and will affect one of these stats here on your left hand side. Either your armor, energy, health, shield, speed, duration, efficiency, range, or strength. And each mod will actually tell you what it does. For example, this redirection has a 440% shield capacity. If I were to remove that mod, notice how my shield capacity goes from 323 to 158. Basically, what that means is if I'm adding mods, you can see in real time, as with that, what happens when you take a mod off or put a mod on. Let's go ahead and replace that with this Gladiator Aegeus mod, which will go right here. And you'll see there now, because of the switch that I made, my armor went from 660 to 783, while my shields are now 158. Terrible fucking trade-off, but it is what it is. So, let's go ahead and remove that. I will tinker with that a little bit later. There are various types of mods, as I stated in the beginning. There are mods that are specific for weapon types, such as shotguns, pistols, rifles. Really kind of depends, and each one has its own type of mod. As you see here, the Akjagara is a pistol, which means I can only put pistol mods on it. So like that one there says pistol, that one says pistol. Then you have various ones, like secondary ones, like Hornet Strike. That is also a pistol mod. Some of these are kind of various mods that kind of go across. Very few of them are that way. Very, very few of them are that way. If any of them anymore, they might have taken them all out since I started. So now the next step in expanding your mods is, how do we level them up? So let's take a look over here. This is an empty mod. Right here is a convulsion mod, which is the electricity mod, which is a elemental mod. There are also elements and things of the like that you can add to your mods, which allow you to change the damage type that a certain weapon does. So if you're in this screen and you go to mods, we'll level it up real quick. Well, maybe, oh, there it is. We'll level it up real quick. You'll go in here, you'll click on the mod you want, convulsion, see down there. You'll click fusion, like this, and then there is different levels here that you can use. You use Indo and credits to level up your mods, and for each level you go up, as you'll see over here on the left, it changes the cost, or drain as they call it, and the electricity percentage. So originally it starts at 15%. For every level it goes up, as you'll see here. There's 90% electricity at max, and also it has the max drain of 11 off of your mod capacity. Now, let's talk a little bit about polarities, because at 11 mods, or 11 cost, you wouldn't be able to fit very many, even in a 60 capacity frame or weapon or anything of the like. So how do we go about getting more mods? So let's take a look at polarities. Let's take this barrel diffusion off. You'll see here, oops, nope, I can't do that. So you'll see down here, there's various polarities of mods. You'll have your Exilus mods, which go in these slots. Those are, like, they can go into any slot, but this is just an extra slot that they go in. You have your Martyri, your Vezarin, your Naramon, and then Riven. Those are your polarities, and they all correspond to the little symbols in the upper right hand corner of all of your mods. So like this one here is the Martyri, and then the prime target cracker down there is the Martyri, and they all have those varying symbols. Like Hornet Strike here is the Martyri. So as you'll see here, if you take Lethal Torrent, which I probably won't, okay, if you take, so we'll take that off. So Lethal Torrent right here costs 5, but see the little green icon there? If you take it off and put it down here, it is now 9. So matching up the specific symbol with a symbol of your polarity slot is going to get you half of that mod cost. So that's how you're able to kind of maximize the build on these weapons and these frames and things of the like, because you're able to essentially build more toward a certain style that you want by polarizing your different slots. Now, how do you polarize the slots? We've talked about it a little bit in a different video, but we'll go ahead and give it a quick recap here. If you hit the button, it'll say polarize, and you'll see the little form is down there. If you do that, you're able to select a slot, and you can press the button to cycle through the slots that you want. Now, the beautiful thing here is once you apply it, or not the beautiful thing, once you apply it, it will send it back to 0. You'll have to relevel it. You won't get the extra mastery rank from it, but you now have the option of matching up a slot. So the more you build and the more you learn about mods and how you particularly want to build, you will have the option to basically make a build by putting X amount of formas into it and polarizing slots so that you can capitalize on the amount of space that they give you. So the next thing on our list here is going to be the transmutation of mods. And there are a few different things here, but transmutation is essentially something I have not used a ton of, but let me show you how it works. If you take 4 mods, like so, it will give you the option to essentially combine 4 unranked mods for a chance at a rare mod. So it costs 12,000 credits. You hit the X button, we'll go ahead and we'll transmute those 4, and boom, now I have another mod. Now if you use the same 4, let's see how this works. Same 4 mods, well, I'll transmute them again, still 12,000 credits, kaboom, and a different mod. So if you have a bunch of unused mods and you want to try to play the game of gambling, you might potentially be able to pull a rare mod out. I haven't done a lot with that, so you use that to your best judgment if that's what you want to do. The second option that you have for mods, and I've done a lot of this because I would be in a quick fix for credits, is you can actually take duplicates, and it marks it up there on the mod screen. There's a ton of options. Let's actually take a look at those real quick. So you have the Warframe slot, your Aura slot, your Augment slot, which is basically a specific mod created for a particular Warframe, which usually allows for a heavier feel of one particular ability. You have your primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, stance mods, which go on your melee weapon as an aura mod essentially, your Exilus adapter mods, your vehicle mods, which are your K-Drive and Arc Wings. Then you have your Arc Gun mods, which is a Arc Wing weapon, Arc Melee weapon, the Robotic, which is your companions. Some of those are specific case in point. Here's Vaporize, which is Death Cube specific, but then you have the accelerated deflection, which is just sentinel specific, and then finally this meta pet kit, which is just companion specific. Then you go to beast, which these are all for the kuvas or the kuvats and the kubros, and then some of those are also not specific, they just say beast. So there's another set of those. And then duplicates, this is where all of your extra mods are stored, as far as if you have a bunch. Case in point, I have 21 of this mod. Finally, incomplete, have never found anything in there, so I don't know what it's specifically for, but I've never had one in there, don't know what it's for. Riven is your highest end mods that exist within the game. These are all weapon specific, and you have to actually take them. Let's look at this one for example. Melee Riven mod, find 12 Syndicate medallions. Now the kicker to this is you have to be wearing that ribbon. So you have to have that ribbon slotted into a weapon, which it can be slotted into any weapon until it pops. Once it pops, it becomes for a specific melee weapon. Then you have, like, here's another one, kill 8 enemies with headshots from at least 100 meters away. And then this one is a kit gun ribbon mod. So I have 2 melee ribbons and a kit gun ribbon. All of those, once they become unveiled, are completely specific to the weapon, and they'll give you stats such as, like, this is for my Rubico, 114% critical damage with an 82.5% electricity charge, but you lose 19% reload speed. So there's positives and negatives. This one here is an all positive one. Archiplasm, this is a damn good mod, or was a damn good mod. Oh, well, no, there's not all positives because you actually have weapon recoil, but you have 3 positives and 1 negative on that one. So it really just depends on, your playstyle. And while we're at it and we're on the talk of mods, let's go ahead and take a look at how you can re-roll Riven mods. This one here, as you see down there, says it's been re-rolled 8 times. If you look in the bottom right hand corner there, been re-rolled 8 times. If you cycle it using Kuva blood, which I don't have a ton of, but fuck it. You cycle it, and what will happen is it will put it back in the reroll table, and you will actually get a new mod. Ba-boom. And you can determine if you want to keep this mod, the new rerolled mod, or this mod that you already have. See, and if you've already got it ranked, then it will stay ranked. If you haven't got it ranked, then it'll show you at max rank, and then it actually shows you down here what it fits in, which is the Cornith. And those also fit in prime weapons. So if you have like a Cornith Prime or a something like that, it'll fit into that. So make sure if you don't like the idea, make sure you cycle it back and go in there. And once you get to a certain point, it will only go so high. And once you get to a certain number, 3,500 Kuva for every reroll appears after 10. So yeah, or after 8 maybe. So it's 3,500 after 8. The last selection up here is the Parazon, which don't really have levels. They just give you extra buffs. Case in point, Master Key unlocks 5 locks within 20 meters after hacking. Live wire shock an enemy within 20 meters. This is for that added Parazon weapon that's on there, but I haven't really messed with those either. So that's the top of there. But finally, let's go and take a look at what happens if you sell some mods. Let's go over to my duplicates here, and there we go. And so you can select all of these duplicates, and we'll just select a few because I have a metric fuckload of mods. And so you select them, and it gives you options up here. Apparently I have a ribbon mod selected for some dumb fucking reason. What did I do that for? That's stupid. Okay, hold on, sorry, I fucked up. There we go. So you have 2 different options now. Let's talk about the one on the left here. And it is just to sell mods outright for credits. So if you're hurting for credits and you're like, man, I need fucking credits, you can sell a fair amount of your mods for credits. If you're gonna sell them, this is the route I would go. Your uncommons, your commons, or your commons and uncommons are really That's kind of the best way to get rid of them if you don't need them, is to just sell them for credits. Or if you're really hurting for Endo, you can dissolve them for Endo. So right here you'll see it'll give you an Endo value, and as you add stuff to it, it'll change the Endo value and the credit value in real time. So you'll kind of see how that goes. Mods are really the heart of the game, in my opinion. Because they are really what determines your play style as a whole. So if you're big on building for a critical build, or big on for critical chance or critical damage, or even if you're like, I just want to be able to fuck shit up without having to hit criticals, there are mods for any and every play style that's out there right now, which is really, really cool and really unique to this style of game. That kind of comes across. Mods are also tradable. So if you're looking for a specific mod, if you're in trade chat, you would be able to basically ask for a certain mod, they'd get you set up, and you could buy any mod for platinum. Now, your commons and uncommons, I would 100% suggest against buying for platinum. But there are certain mods, and there are too many to really list, but there are certain mods that are really kind of difficult to come by. So like one example, like this is a good example actually. This Toxic Barrage is a shotgun 60/60 mod. Those 60/60 mods, as they're called, are kind of rare, and unless you really want to farm them out, you can buy them on the market for platinum, which is not a bad decision if you're wanting to throw a little bit of money in and look for something specific for that particular mod. If you're just kind of wanting to go, instead of going mod farming, just wanting to buy a mod. But really, learning the mod system is probably the biggest thing to just advancing in Warframe, because the more you understand about the mods, the better off you're gonna be. And then the last thing I actually want to touch on, and it's not in my notes, which is why it's last and I kind of fucking suck, is if you're in here, if we go into fuck me, so let's in here, for example, if you hit R3, or in the PlayStation it's R3, there's the auto install function, which we also kind of went and talked about a little bit. But if you hit apply auto installation, as you'll see there, it literally just applied a bunch of mods. It auto picked what it thought was the best option. Now here's the fun fact. Their auto installation is fucking garbage. Like, here's an example. This is now what my stats look like compared to my full build over here. Congratulations, I got sprint speed and not a fucking thing else. And it didn't even fill it to capacity. But what's cool about the auto install in the beginning, until you really start to learn what mods and what feels and what you want to work, auto install is not a terrible idea. I did it for the first couple hours I played, just because I really wanted to take away the need to have to dig through everything at that point. And it does take a little bit of strain off of the learning curve. So that's kind of the long and short of mods. Oh, this last piece here. There's 2 slots, and you'll earn them after a certain point in the game. They're arcanes, and these arcanes can be fitted into Warframes only. And it tells you right here that it'll say 4% are undamaged, 4% chance for 7.5% critical chance for 2 seconds. So essentially, for every level that you level up an arcane, you can slot that arcane in there, and it will give you added buffs. And when you click on one, it'll tell you, these are what the ranks are and so forth. So that's really, that once you get to that point, these are really, really badass added bonuses, honestly. I have not really fucked with a lot of these, but they're a lot of fun. They add another set of playability and just different styles to the game. So all in all, yeah, that is mods in about as big of a nutshell as I can make it. Not that it's a big nutshell. Fuck, we went 20 minutes. So, like I said, mods are 100% the heart of the game. And if you can learn the mod system you will definitely be ahead of the curve when it comes to how Warframe works, how the game plays, how a number of things really kind of function within Warframe. So next week we're gonna actually sit down and I'm going to break down your currencies that are current in the Warframe universe. In case you've wondered, well, how the fuck do I get into? What's credits? What are treasures? What's platinum? So I'm going to break all of that down in the next video next week. If you have any questions about mods, about Warframe, or about anything else like that, be sure to jump into the Discord channel. There is a link in the description. Some of the members are starting to build some sets and lists, and myself and Cody, or hashtag Captain Cocksucker as I like to call him, is basically helping, and we're trying to build these guides for you to go off of so that you have a one-stop shop for Warframe. And if you have your own builds and like to share, you are more than welcome to do so there in that Discord channel. Also, I talk Warframe and video games and politics and everything in between when we go live on Facebook and Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 8:30 Central. So be sure to jump in there and hang out. Until next time, everybody, thanks for watching the Warframe Wednesday video this week. And if you have any suggestions, be sure to drop them in the comments. Easy for me to say. Drop them in the comments. Until next time, polite PSA, if words offend you, you can fuck off.